So it's been a little while. I got all these giant projects going, and then I just disappear for a couple weeks. Well, sometimes life gets in the way, and unfortunately with my work, things have been crazy last few weeks, and it's that kind of situation where at the end of the day you are just drained, physically, mentally, everything. So unfortunately it's been a little bit, but the good news is I have gotten some things done during that time, and it's cooled down a little bit, so now I've got a bunch of progress to show you. So in this video, we're all over the place. We're going to catch up on everything. And of course, as you can see, the sharks, they're still knocking down my scape, probing for any weak spots, helping me out, make sure that I build them the most strong shark scape possible. So I appreciate that work from those guys, making sure that I don't slack, but we'll get that fixed. But in this video, we'll touch up on the sharks in Predator Bay 3000 real quick. We're going to move the Platinum Arrow over to the 4,500 gallon. We've got major progress on the 1,200 gallon Amazon Community Aquarium, and basically we're on to the final stage of the 220 Amazon Discus tank. All the fish have been added, all the new fish from quarantine, plants have been added. It's totally changed. It's getting ready to just grow up into the new tank. So that, and of course there's more too. So we have other big projects. We have too many big projects all going on at one time. I need to take a vacation just so I can work on these projects. But let's just get straight into it. So since my sharks just went through a big move from Predator Bay 2000 to 3000, I thought I'd give them a little treat with baby octopus night. As you can see, they like their baby octopus. It's just a little something I like to do for them from time to time, just to mix up their diet, and it's kind of a treat, and a nutritious treat, not like shrimp or anything, but just something different for them. As you can tell, they definitely enjoy it. They're getting excited, hunting for that octopus, and boom, he's got it. So it's fun for me, and these guys love it, as well as the grouper. It's not on camera, but there was another one for the grouper on the other side, and he put that as down as well. So pretty much likes everything the sharks like. But it's always fun to do the tongue feeding with these guys, just have a little bit of interaction, and seeing them enjoy their baby octopus snack in Predator Bay 3000. So let's take one last look at the Amazon Discus Aquarium, the 220 gallon, before we go ahead and do the re-aquascape, as well as there is another batch of fish that's been in quarantine for a while. Remember, I added 80 before, but a lot of them are very small. These are some of the larger ones that are going in here. But when I go ahead and do the rescape with the plants, I'll go ahead and add in the fish that have been in quarantine as well. So these guys are getting a bunch of new friends right now. So I figured this was a good chance to show you guys how the sausage is made. So here's a bunch of wood that's taken out of the 750 over there. Here's another pile of wood that was taken out, and up top there, lots of big rocks and boulders and everything. And you can see, for me being inside there, the water's all turned up. So what I'm having to do is fill it back up some, drain it down, go inside, do work. Moving out all of that aggregate. I mean, there's just so much of it. This isn't all of it. I've moved a lot of it out of the room to have room to work. I'm getting ready to move this out of my way to have room to work. And this is just in the top part. So this is getting all new lights. You can see I've removed two of the lights. They're just off to the side over there. That third one I'm just using to light it up while I work. But I'll be when I'm not working, I fill the tank back up part way for the fish, because I haven't caught all the fish yet. I bring it down, I get in there, I bring more aggregate out, and I catch all the fish I can catch. I put them in here, and I get them into their new homes in the fish basement. But I just want to point out that this is a massive undertaking. Even though it's only 6 feet across front to back, it is humongous tank. It is very deep. And I'll get some footage for you of me in there doing work, and you'll see. I mean, it is just massive. It's 6 by 5 by 3, so it is a beast. But at any rate, we're making progress here, and I just want to let you know that we're going to basically work on the 750 here, the future Malawi tank. We're going to work on that 1200. We're doing the rescape on the Discus tank, so we're going to do it all, not in one video, but so basically, because it's such a huge undertaking, it's going to happen across multiple videos. So it'll be progress videos. We'll see a lot of progress breaking it down, and then progress setting it back up, because I don't want to basically rush any of this stuff, right? There's live animals here. I'm changing out the filtration. I'm going to be cutting into the plumbing over here. I'm going to be adding this settling chamber. I need to properly brace it first. I need to plumb it in. We're doing a whole new filter down there. So we're going to cover everything and show how it's all done, but it'll just be basically in a series of videos. And then once the full scape is done, I can put it together in a video where I show parts of the process all the way, and then the release of the tank in all of its glory with the new setup. So that's going to be the path I go, because quite honestly, that's what's best for the fish, and that's what makes the most sense in terms of being able to put out videos in a timely manner. So we're going to go with that. So let's start back behind Predator Bay 3000 with the estuary. So we look in here, the first thing you can sort of see is diatoms everywhere. This is this brand new system breaking in, basically cycling and everything. So part of the reason there hasn't been a lot going on with it is we have to go slow. We have to let the system establish. So that has happened. We are good now, so we can start moving forward. I obviously need a lot of rock for this aquarium. You know, there's just a few pieces in here, but it needs a lot more rock to build up the ecosystem for the estuary. You can see that the mangroves have been moved over from freshwater to saltwater. They've shed a bunch of leaves, but they have new growth. They all have new growth coming out. So it's just a matter of time before they convert. And somebody in the last video made a good comment about an idea for suspending the mangrove plants, which I am going to do. And once I do it, I will show you how that's going to work. But they know who they are. That was an awesome job calling that out. And in the front of the house, I joke about these clowns over here knocking down the rocks, but it's actually good. It's really just this one big rock they knocked off. So it's really kind of one thing to move, and maybe a couple little guys here, but it's no big deal. But the key thing is the rest of it has completely held up, so it's all good. But even here, having these milk crates in there is saving the day. It's not a big deal to pick up a rock and put it back out there. Before, they were crumbling down the whole thing. So having that structure in there has been awesome. It has basically solved the root problem. Eventually I'll get these all stacked just right that they don't knock them down. And if I have to, I can drill holes and put rods through. There's a lot of suggestions people made, and they're all doable. There's a lot of things to do there. But the key thing is that it's a successful transition. The fish are moved over. The tank has established. The water it's all fully established tank, so I can start, you know, looking towards adding new fish and everything like that, and just moving the tank forward. So basically, very, very successful. I can't complain. Picking up a few rocks is definitely not a big deal when you do a giant move like this of all this rock, or these large animals into a whole new system, and the fact that this system is cycled and ready to go now for new additions. Predator Bay 3000, I'm calling it a success. All right, let's take a quick look at the 220-gallon Discus aquarium. So we have finished moving in 140 fish to this aquarium. Yes, a lot of them are very small, but they all moved over, and we've added a lot of plants. So let's just let's start with the plants real quick. So we've added a lot of little swords like these guys over here, and some stem plants, which I don't know if they'll work or not, and then some larger swords, and there's also some bulbs in there, which we should see things sprouting out soon enough. So more combination of bulbs, swords, and stem plants. There's a lot of root tabs in there, and I have been dosing. So these plants have been in here only for, say, 2 weeks. So we'll see how it goes. It's always going to be a situation. We have to see what works with my water and the way I care for them. But I'm seeing new growth on the swords. And there's a little sprout from the bulb there, so you can see that was nothing before, and probably people who know that plant knows what that is, but there's a few of those in there, and there's also some in the back over there which you can't really see. But obviously the real look is going to be when all the plants grow up into the water column and all these schools of small fish are mixing, interacting with the plants. So let's get into the fish. So the rest of the fish we moved over is a bunch of small tetras, small severum, and small angels. So that goes to mix with the other tetras we had and the rams. As far as cories, we already had a lot, and we already had a lot of plecos, so we're good with the ground crew. But we just added a lot more mid-level, top-level fish to mix in with the discus. And again, once the plants get all up to speed in here, I think it's really gonna have a very nice look to it. Of course, it's nice to see the in-between process as well, so that we can see how it matures, not just this, you know, hey, everything looks great at the end. Let's check out the whole process. So as you can tell, everyone is doing great. These guys have all been in here now for, I don't know, probably 3 weeks or so. So everything has been good. It's just a matter of keeping these plants growing. The nice thing I was happy to report is that even with adding all these fish, a lot of them are small, but the system handled it perfectly. Not even a blip when running the tests. So normally I don't test a lot because my tanks are pretty established, but whenever I'm doing something large like this, I will test frequently each day, and not even a blip. The tank just absorbed it beautifully. We know we have the engine down here with a settling chamber and the plant filtration, which is kind of growing outside of the base there, but really did a great job. So an established tank like this with plenty of bacteria in there and a very established filter system just absorbed the extra load, no problem. So just a matter of keeping tabs on this from time to time and watching these plants grow up, and I think it's gonna look amazing actually. So I'm really looking forward to this one. And in this video, this guy right here is moving over to the 4,500 gallon. So we know all these other guys are going in the 1,200 gallon, which I've been putting a ton of work on. But I have a few other fish for the 1,200 gallon who need to go in here that this guy up here might eat. So it's time for him to move over. He'll be happy in his much bigger home, and he's plenty big enough to handle the big boys in there now. So that's going to happen in this video, and that's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see him cruising the 4,500 gallon. And in the spirit of just keeping you guys updated on all the big projects, obviously the Lagoon Aquarium, nothing's happened here, but I do want to point out one thing that's very interesting is you notice how you have the algae on the sand that you never had before, because when you had the fish in there, all the bacteria on the rock was using up the nutrients and everything, versus now you see it without that competition, with that bacteria dying down, you have the algae taking over on the sand, which you never had before. So it's kind of interesting. And the other thing is, the reason this tank hasn't progressed any further than it, or hasn't progressed at all actually, is because it's a huge undertaking. I need to take all of the live rock from the 1,500 gallon system over here, that in-wall 265, the refugium, and the 600 gallon back there, and move it all into here. I need to bring this salt water down, I need to build up that reef, and then I need to transfer the fish while keeping everything alive. You know, all the bacteria on the live rock alive, keeping the fish, you know, healthy and happy while I'm in here redoing this massive tank. And then of course I have to make, you know, a few thousand gallons of salt water, because once I bring this down, I'm gonna have to bring it back up. So it's a huge undertaking, and it's one that it has to be the right timing. I need like a weekend where I can just dedicate to it, and that hasn't happened yet, but it will happen soon, and this could be an amazing tank. And so apparently I'm not the only one who really likes electric blue Jack Dempsey's, because I get asked all the time, where's your electric blue Jack Dempsey's? What happened to them? Well, they've been living in the quarantine tanks for a while. There's 2 of them down here. There's no light on this one, but you can sort of see a face sticking out there. And what happened is they sort of paired off. There's the other one there. They paired off. So these 2 guys down here were giving this guy the business. So they're split up right now. And I guess this is giving away some of the plants going in the 1,200 gallon. But at any rate, they will all go back together in their new aquarium. And based on the aquarium and the configuration, the stocking, I think it'll work, even though you have a paired off couple and everything. It's just going to be a lot different situation. But in the meantime, they are just holding tight in the quarantine tank. Alright, so the 1,200 gallon behind me is where we really make serious progress in this video. And this is a very important tank because we have a lot of fish and grow out who are all going to go in here. We have a fish with 750 that are going in here that's going to open up the grow outs for the new fish coming in. It's going to open up, of course, 750. So it's important to get this one done first, and we're going to make a ton of progress in this video. A lot of progress has been made, but we're going to make even more here. In fact, man, who knows, we might be filling it up. It's going to be right, it's going to be on the cusp, because we are getting it all done here. So I've got the inside where we found the water, the flaw, that's all caulked up and ready to go. I've got everything for the tops drilled and ready to assemble, which we'll do that here. The riverbank, we'll get that done today, and we will start the scape. And the scape is huge. We'll see how far we get, but if we get as far as I hope we do, then you know, we'll start filling it up. But either way, you'll get a real good idea of what the scape's going to look like. And of course, we'll keep checking on that albino Arowana cruising his new home, the 4,500 gallon. Okay, so this will make it a lot easier to catch this guy, but before we do that, let's go ahead and feed the 4,500 gallon. Get those guys nice and full before we introduce this guy so he gets a smooth transition. Alright, we'll give these guys a big feeding over here. We pour it in. And that's gonna get our bass hitting all that food as it comes in. Of course, the Oscar's over there as well. Okay, so everybody's been hitting the food. You can see we got the cloud there for the Oscars, but the Oscars and peacock bass, everybody is all loaded up. We also fed down here as well on the other side. The catfish and everybody's been fed, so we'll give a little bit to finish this off, and then we'll go ahead and move over the Platinum Arowana. Okay, so let's take a look to see what we have to do with the 1,200 gallons. So obviously the filter, the water test is good. It's just a matter of going ahead and building up the filter. You know, we're doing wetland style. We've got a lot of plants down here ready to go for the filter in the riverbank. These are part of the riverbank system over here. We're going to install these right now. Some baskets I use just for measuring. We got this area over here all situated. Let's see if we can get the camera all taken care of. We've got the braces on here, and if we come over here, we have the last one that is drilled out for the pumps. It'll be done just the same way as the 4,500 gallon over here. So we just need to get this guy tightened down. And as you can see, we've added a couple of lights because I was thinking, every time I show this tank, you can't see anything because there's no lights. So I had a genius epiphany. Why don't I install some lights so you guys can see what I'm talking about? So here inside the 1,200 gallon, after a successful water test, we're starting to build up these big media bags. So these are actually big mesh laundry bags that I'm putting lava rock into to build up different parts of the aquascape. So normally people use media bags, but the scale of these tanks, you need to have big, giant laundry bags. And there's 2 different ones in there full up with a lava rock that I'm going to place in there. So we're going to get that done first. Then we're going to start doing some rocking and some wood, and then you'll see where the plants are going to be. Because a lot of these fish are not usually very friendly with plants, but there is a way to do it that'll work, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So I'm going to hop in there and start doing all these things. Oh, there he is. Just moments after being introduced. Right there with the other arrow. Actually, I'm surprised how close in size he is. Where'd he go? Turn. So yeah, there's the new guy, the platinum, and right behind him the silver. So hopefully they will be fast friends. Obviously they have a giant tank, so there's no reason they shouldn't get along, but they are going to see each other as competitors and same type of fish. Well, that was the new guy splashing, so so far so good. I'd say the silver doesn't seem overly bothered by him. Okay, there's the first few minutes of the platinum and the silver in the 4,500 gallon. Silver's checking them out, but I don't see any aggression there. Actually, I need to get the plants in the riverbank for the tank behind me. Those new lights are causing a lot of reflection problems, but that won't be there once the plants are up there. Let's see if I can block it. Okay, so I turned off the lights that were behind me there, causing a lot of glare. So basically what we have is the platinum there in the front and the silver behind them. And the platinum has just been introduced to the tank. And I'd say they're pretty chill, hanging together. They seem to be essentially palling around. Let's see, he's continuing on. Get down here. I just filled up the tank, so it's higher than normal, but there they go. The length of the tank there. Oh, let me go follow them down. Swimming side by side. Still say just checking this out. Nobody's nipping. Silver's turning. They don't seem overly bothered by them, but nice combination of colors. It looks cool with the silver and the albino yellowish color. Very cool. definitely plenty of room for 2 big arrows in here, and really does add to it. I'm pumped. Also happy that none of these guys are paying him any mind. Cool, so I'll check back on these guys, and we'll see how well he adapts to his new massive home. He's got all the space in the world. Okay, why I thought 500 pounds of lava rock would be enough, I don't know. 10 bags, as you can see. Actually, are those 40-pound bags or 50-pound bags? So either 400 or 500 pounds of lava rock. Hardly made a dent, so I have gone and purchased a whole bunch more, because not only do we want to have this area built up, we want to have a second area built up over here. We also want to come forward some. I've got the brace where the plumbing that's going to hold the pumps, that's all bolted in, and that essentially gives us a third brace, which is total overkill for a tank of this size. And then you can see in the back what I call the river bank is essentially those 2 bars that hold up all those plant baskets. So you're going to have a giant wall of plants growing up towards these lights, and you're going to have all the roots down here in the water column filtering it and blocking the view, blocking the lights from shining through onto that tank over there. And then of course we'll have more plants over here in the wetland filter. So all I need to do now is go fill up 4 more bags, sorry, of lava rock in these bags, and then finish off the scape as we're going to come out in places, and then start rocking it in. And then once I start rocking it in, I think it'll make a lot more sense what the final scape is going to look like. But we want to utilize some of this massive 4 feet in height here, and we need something that's going to stay tight and not come apart, you know, not basically get knocked down by the water, right? Like if you just push up a bunch of substrate over time, the water's going to flatten it out. So these bags are going to keep this lava rock in place. So this is the very beginning of escaping the 1,200 gallon Amazonian islands, or Amazon Community Aquarium. We're going with the islands again, with 1 big large island over here, a small one over there that's still going to be reshaped, and we're going to go ahead and rock around the bottom of both islands, and then this island here we're going to rock around that area there. Those bags will be reshaped a little bit, and then they'll get rocked around, and then there's going to be areas for plant baskets, which I can then rock around those as well to keep the fish from messing with the plants. So we are going to have fish you typically can't have with live plants, like geophagus and everything. And the way we're going to deal with that is by moving the plants up into baskets on the islands, and then make it look natural by using rock and substrate to rock around it. So then we can have lots of big swords growing up to take advantage of this huge water column we have. Probably a good 3 feet, about most of that, at least 2 feet over there, well, more than 2 feet there, even in the highest point, you know, with the 4 feet depth. But then we'll have this big open sandy area down at the bottom, so those guys can do all their rooting around and everything, so we can hopefully have best of both worlds. As you can imagine, so this ended up being 800 pounds of lava rock in there, and there is literally a ton of these big rocks out there, so they'll be coming in and being reused for this tank. These are out of when the 3,000 gallon was Amazon, so we will do all of that. Then I also have a big scoop of medium-sized rocks and a scoop of like 3/4 river jacks, and then of course I have 1,500 pounds of sand. So we have quite a bit of aggregate material. As you can see, I have the 2-step ladder deal. I put one on the outside, climb up and over inside, and then put the substrate down. For wood, I've got a collection over here that are from the I don't know, creek, stream, small stream, big creek behind my house. And so this has all been out in the sun for a long time. It was out of the water, so it is good to go, and it's really nice to have something lower the costs when you have such a big project. Fortunately, most of this material we have around, most of the aggregate, you know, it's being repurposed from other tanks. So as you can see, it's coming together. Next time you see this, the hardscape will be done, and who knows, maybe even the whole scape. Saw earlier in the video, I have the Amazon swords that are going in here. They're just waiting to be planted, and I have plenty of these pots. So these pots will be integrated into these islands. It'll all be rocked around. It'll look natural, and then we'll get all that sand in there. And of course, I need to, well, I have some of the rock I need for the wetland filter, but I'm gonna need to order some of that, so there'll be the truck coming with a couple more scoops of the medium-sized rock and the 3/4 pebble jacks. I got plenty of the gravel for the top, the pea gravel. So, at any rate, 1,200 gallon, made a lot of progress, and this baby's going to be up pretty soon. So yeah, good progress on the 1,200 gallon. Next one is really going to see this explode and look like a real tank exploded with progress. Hopefully not break. And we'll do a checkup after, you know, a week or so of the albino arrow in there in his new 4,500 gallon home. I'm sure he's still, well, yeah, I see him all the way down there. He's got a lot of exploring to do. And then we'll go check out that 750 gallon because that's the next one to get rocking and rolling. Oh, it's just so many big projects. I need to take a vacation so I can just work on these aquarium projects. So I put on a couple pounds over the winter, and thankfully Aquarium Fit is back again, and it's time to move thousands and thousands of pounds of rock and sand and gravel and all that good stuff. So hopefully we can shave off 5 or 10 and get back in shape for spring. No shortage of projects. We're knee deep here in the 1,200 gallon community build. The 750, it is, you know, drained. Fish are getting ready to move over to the 4,500. We'll do a recap once that happens. That'll be a lot of new cool fish in the 4,500. Then that'll be ready to be rebuilt. And then of course the 125 and the 2,000. Just, there's no shortage. Just so many things on the docket. Everything depends on the thing in front of it to get done. So we'll just keep plugging away, and hopefully no more interruptions from work, and I can stay on a better cadence, give you guys decent videos, and hopefully in a decent time frame. I thought I might end this video with just a little bit of feeding the 220 and a little music. So enjoy, and I will see you guys very soon. And I promise I'm trying to be making the next video very soon.